homies were always setting up jacks. We'd find a new person to jack, or somebody that had a lot of drugs on them, or we'd meet them at parties and we'd ask them like, what you got? So my homies invited over some guys they had found to party with them, and they brought over a lot of money, a lot of coke, a lot of drugs. They hit me up. They were like, yo, come through, rob us all, and, make it look like we owe you money. So I pulled up to the house. I snuck into the house through the back door, which was unlocked by my homies. I got in there. I started waving my gun around, telling everybody that my homie Cody owed me all this money. Where's he at? I told everybody, not to look at me, keep their head on the ground. After that, I tied everybody up, pretended to pistol whip my homies a couple times. One of the guys there, he tried to hide his wallet in the closet. I got him, laid him on the ground. I mean, he was trembling and shaking. So I searched him. I took all his drugs. I took all his money. I left. Day later, I guess, I don't know how they found out that it was, like an in-house robbery. I started getting death threats from some big-time drug dealers down from the south side of town. And they were coming to my house, threatening me, wanting to shoot me, doing all this stuff. I mean, at that time, we just really didn't care. I joined the Crips, about 12 years old, right before summer of 7th grade. And by the time, 7th grade came along, I was already, in the Crips, wearing all blue, stuff like that. I moved to the WarZone when I was, a baby, I would say around 1 or 2. I lived there during the crack epidemic, early 80s. It was a real wild time. There's impact vans, people getting raided. It was actually like a fucking zombie apocalypse only. We'd never seen people just walking around, cracked out, losing everything, people's kids on the streets. It was a real bad time. But at the time, when you're a little kid, you don't really notice things like that, or notice, what you're living in until you get a little older. And once I got older, I was like, man, we're in the streets. This is, the foundation of gangster and, drug dealing. I don't take anything back from what we did or what the neighborhood is. It's just, a different era now. Nowadays, people are, on a different kind of drug. Everyone's on fentanyl. People have lost their minds out there. I think we have little to nothing, no help from the government. People are dying left and right. Rape is at an all-time high. Fatalities are at an all-time high. Murder is at an all-time high. My mom, she still lives in the war zone, and she's even scared now. She's never been scared or, even worried about living there. Nowadays, she's ready to get out of there, and she cries to me all the time that it breaks her heart how fucked up it's really gotten, Coming on to later part of my life as I realized becoming a man, a father, that was just, just some whack ass shit. I started having more of a conscience and a realization of what you're actually doing to people, and what that life is. All my homies ended up in prison, so that also opened up my eyes and wanting a better future and wanting more for myself. I've always been a great artist. I've always had, family values and stuff like that. My dad was always a hard worker, so it kept me wanting to be a hard worker, and essentially it just kind of pushed me out of that mentality. I started framing houses, I started building homes with my pops, and it kind of just pulled me away eventually from that kind of life, and it kind of made me into the man I am today.